Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast. This is episode 39. Today is October 8th of 2023, and I'm here to talk about all that I have been knitting on for the last 2 weeks. I have done a lot of knitting based off of the quantity of items I have to show you, and I am excited to get into it. So I have this week 4 finished objects. One of them I do not have with me. And I've got 2 whips and 1 that I will cast on today. So we're going to talk about it like it's a whip. And that one kind of has some acquisitions to it. So first finished object is, I guess, the one that I'm showing you. This is my Garti Cardi by Anna of the Bluebird box. And last time it was all finished except for this button band that's gone here. So this entire thing, I've talked about it quite a bit, but the fading and body of it is knit out of Addie of Ruby and Rose's 2022 Christmas Advent, minus like some of this up here, and they're all just kind of scraps of what I've had from her. And then the ribbing on the cuffs and the bottom and the collar here is ink blot from Ruby and Roses as well. I followed this to pattern for the second size. Last time I had the like cardigan minus this blocked, and it made a big difference since it's all in garter. Besides, the sleeves are stocking knit. But the body is in garter. And so it was all done. I blocked it before I added this. The pattern does have you knit this piece separately. So you just knit it flat and then you're seaming it on. I did not want to seam because of the finished object I'll tell you about next. My ends are all woven in, but they're snipped to. But so what I did is I picked it up kind of similar to the jelly roll blanket, and you can see it more on this side. So like if you watch Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, I think she uses this join, because I had looked up her join and a bunch of others on YouTube, and this is what she has as the right side. And I have my window open right behind the camera, so you may hear this car coming by. I apologize, but it's too nice out. So I started out with using this side as the right side, and so I started out on the other side, and once I got to this and I saw I did not want this on the front, and so I did like this but a lot better. But yeah, I knit this, what was it, 4 days, something like that, pretty much all week. It was a lot because you go from one side. I still have to weave in. This is the only end I have left to weave in. Still gotta do it. So I attached it as I went, and I also did a tubular bind on, so it matched the tubular bind off on the other side and what was used on the rest of the cardigan. This is my first time doing a tubular bind cast on. What did I say earlier? Bind on. This is my first time using a tubular cast on, and I didn't think it was that hard. It was fine. I followed Stephen West's video. Love Stephen West. So yeah, that's that. This one is all ends woven in. I think it looks great. This is going to be my like keep at the office, and there's another car. This is gonna be my keep it at the office and throw it on when I get chilly jacket, cardigan, whatever. I love it. I will be knitting multiple of these when I have the scraps to do so, because it is the perfect scrappy thing. So my second finished object, let me get off my heels here. Ugh. So my second finished object, I'll have to throw a picture in here if I have. I think I have one. I didn't take good pictures before I mailed it off. but it was a sample for Addie of Ruby and Rose's yarn. It is her husband's Rhinebeck sweater for this year, so I'm sure, I keep coming out of focus. I'm sure she will post pictures about it on her Instagram. But I knit the Cricket sweater by Brooklyn Tweed, and then I knit it in the main color was Letter Writer, and the contrast hemming was in Writer's Block, I think. I don't know. It's the lighter version of her gray, black. I think it was Writer's Block. But so that was supposed to be a piece sweater, and I hacked it to knit in the round. Last time I had all the pieces done. I just had to seam up the shoulders and attach the sleeves. I guess set in the sleeves is the correct term. And pick up the collar and knit that. And that was my first time seaming sleeves on, and I'm sorry if I keep going out of focus. I don't know why. So that was my first time like attaching seaming and all that kind of stuff. Not a fan. So it turned out fine, I think. She did say it was a little bit small, but I leave things for her to block, and so I'm hoping that after blocking it will help. But I mean, that's kind of part of knitting for somebody who you can't let them try it on as you go. All that. So I will put in a picture here, and hopefully she will post pictures on Instagram, and I may steal one for my Ravelry project. Okay, 2 more finished objects. So last time I had started a pair of socks, and it was like my first pair of socks in months, and it was for a friend at church, and I still have them. So here are those. The yarn is the Daisy Stitch Co. one of a kind that I bought years ago. But yeah, they are a size 9, so they're a little bit longer. I'm like a 7.5, 8-ish. And so they were a little bit longer, but I do have the slap bracelet from Twice Sheared Sheet. No, I think that's who it's from, but I bought it at Arkansas Yarn Co. Let me see, it's in here. I love this thing. It fits perfectly in my small bag. Yes, it is from Twice Sheared Sheet. And it is a Sunday afternoon, so everybody's doing their country driving down our road. But this thing is perfect. I'm hoping that they will fit. I will probably give them to her at church tonight, so we will see. I could have done it this morning, but I wanted to show them off on the podcast. But 64 stitches, US 0, 2mm, 20 rounds of ribbing, 60 slip stitch heel flap, and I think it ended up to being like 80 rounds, and then just a normal toe. But yeah, they turned out great. The pooling turned out to be more of like a striping, and I love the way it turned out. So yeah, that's what these are. They're done and ready to go. And that's that one. Next one was a impulse kind of cast on last week, and I think I was almost through the yoke. I think I was done with the increases. I still haven't woven the ends on this one because I wanted to make sure it fit, and it does. So last time, this is the Flax Light, and it is a sweater that I knit for my daughter. It's in Ruby and Rose's yarn is the main color, and then this is something I dyed, and it's left over from my Allie sweater light test knit, and I still have quite a bit left over of it. But this is paintbrush, and then down here you can't tell because of hand-dyed yarn. I mean, it's all darker up here because the speckles were all kind of on one side, and it kind of fades out, but I did have to fade into a second skein, and you can tell it gets a little bit lighter, so I faded into pensive. Last time I showed you, I think, the 3 different colorways that I was going to like use and fade into. She wanted short sleeves, so it worked out. I only used like 1 in 15 grams of the other, so I will use the other 2 for another one for my niece. But let's see, about right there is where I started fading into it, and those 2 colors were the perfect fade. So that is where I was last time, right here. And let me tell you, I think I finished this Sunday night, or it took me less than a week to knit. I loved it so much. It was the perfect like reading and knitting project. This is the 8 to 10-year-old size for my 4-year-old daughter. So that's that. I did, I think, 10 rounds plain before for the 1 inch of ribbing for the sleeves. She runs hot like her daddy, and so this will be perfect. I mean, you go inside and it's warm. You don't want to be in a long sleeve all the time. She'll be fine. So I will weave in the ends, and she will wear this at some point. So I'm happy this one's done, and I need to knit one for my daughter or my son. And then I think I want to knit one for one of my nieces. Maybe I'll end up doing one for both of them. I don't know. The other one, she might want one. We'll see. But that's that. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Hopefully she'll get lots of wear out of it. She's been wanting a purple sweater for the longest time, and this has been in my stash with no plans, and this was the perfect plan for it. And this pink goes perfect with it. So, Flaxlight by Tin Can Knits. I did add in short rows in the back, and the short rows are placed after the yoke increases. So they're like a separate PDF outside of the Flaxlight, and it is a free pattern. So that is that one. I will try and weave in the ends here soon. So whips. Got 2 new whips, and they are cast-ons. Let's see, I've got a coworker who said she would love some socks, and I've got plenty if I remember to wash them. And so I am more than happy to knit her a pair of socks. So I have cast on, and I'm almost to the heel on these. She's a size 6, so it won't be as long as the size 9 I just finished. But again, 64 stitches, 2mm US 0, 20 rounds of ribbing. And I don't do the when it's striped like this, the plain knit round to help the purl stitches and all that. I don't care. I don't even know if they're going to be matching. I might ask her on Monday. And I'm going to do a slip stitch heel flap and gusset because that fits the best. This yarn is Berroco Comfort Sock. So there it is. I took the label has fallen off because that's how it goes. But it is 100% acrylic. I put mine out of this in the washer and dryer, and they do just fine. And so she was a little worried about the hand-dyed yarn and putting them in the washer and dryer, and so I was like, I got you. These are the perfect gift socks. So it is super fine nylon and super fine acrylic, 50/50. This is the color 1824. I get this I've all of the skeins of yarn like this I've gotten from Knit and Others in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. That is kind of my local yarn store. And so I've kind of like to keep a stash of them for gift knits because they're super soft and they go through the washer and dryer just fine. I mark every 10 rounds, and I'm in my 50 through 60, and then I'll do a heel. So that is that one. Nice and easy. I am happy to be knitting socks again. I took a little break. I think when I did all those swatches for Addie, I took a break from them. So that took me a while. So, oh, and that is in my Sassafras Knits bag. I don't know how often if she makes them anymore. You'll just have to watch her Instagram. I also use her stitch markers too. I've got a couple sets of hers. That's what that is. There. And then this one I think was from Kay's Crochet Creations, but she's closed. So I'll try and remember to link. I think it's Rochelle from Sassafras. So another new whip in my big By the Bay bag go bag. I think this is the El Grande, is something that you haven't seen before. This is the Easy V by Caitlin Hunter, or I think Boylan Knitworks. I showed off this yarn last week in the acquisitions because I had quite a bit. And so this is the Easy V. I love it. Let me get back to where I was. So I am starting the color work. Finished the collar last night. So here is that. I'm literally on my first row of color work. But it is a V-neck, so this is the, I think it's the back. Because that'll be where all the yarn changes are. And this is the front. With yarn bark everywhere. So the main color is mahogany. So these are all from ZZ Textiles in her non-superwash worsted base in 218 yards. So the main color is mahogany. Then we've got, apparently I threw away the wrong one because I've got two mahoganies. Oh well. This is gonna be my CC1 and it is cadmium yellow. And then my CC2 is cypress. And then my CC3 is butterfly bush. So it'll go like this to that. I think that'll be okay. I kind of impulse bought these, and I'm not sure I love the like pink and yellow together. I don't know. It's just knitting. If I don't like it, I can rip it out and do something else. It's fine. Not that tied to it. I'm not that, but I think it will all, I do like the orange or the mahogany and the cadmium yellow next to each other. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm enjoying the process. This is actually my first worsted weight project that's not like store-bought yarn, or not store-bought, but big box store yarn type things. It's my first hand-dyed worsted weight. It's my first worsted weight sweater for myself. So it's going super quick. I usually just do fingering weight. It is more rustic feeling, but I think it will definitely soften up after blocking. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I can't decide if I want to, actually, I'm not working on that because that is not, with it being color work, that is not a good reading and knitting project, and that's what I like to do in the evenings. So this may be like a, until I get past the color work, this may be just a in the car on the way to work project. Although I'm about to be to that heel, so I don't really have good reading and knitting projects, which I'm hoping this next one will be. So crinkle real quick. I have bought some yarn for a sweater for a little girl at church. She was here a month ago for my daughter's birthday party, and I've been wanting to knit her a sweater because those socks are going to her mom, and I've knit for her brothers and dad, so she's the only one left. And so I got her measurements today, and she picked out some colors when she was over a month ago. She's a pink girl, so we have from Ruby and Rose's yarn, because I had gift cards from all my sample knits, and I do not mind spending this money on her because it's fun and I will enjoy knitting this. But I'm going to be using, this is all in plump rose. I would have done soft rose, but she didn't have it available, all the colors I needed available. So we've got Creative Liberty on the fingering weight plump rose and Siesta, and I'm pretty sure these were made to go together. But I'm gonna hold these two together. So like that'll tone down the purple big time. I'm excited to see how these go. And I'm gonna knit one of these. I'm gonna knit a Garti Cardi. And where all of the black is on mine, I'm going to do this one. Look at that. So that's gonna be hers. So I have 2 skeins of each of these and one of Material Girl. If I end up needing more of this, I do have a little bit from the swatches, and I don't think it'll be that big of a deal to break into it because I know I need to still save those for when Addie needs more swatches. I need to get numbers from her. But I'm going to do, so I did the second size for myself and it did block out quite a bit. So I'm going to do the math for a size smaller than the first. She is 7 or she's 8. I think she's 8. She's kind of like my daughter. She's on the bigger side. She could wear my clothes for the most part, but this might be a little bit big on her. Maybe I'll just do the first size. I don't know. Can't quite decide. I need to measure this against what I got from her measurements. But I am doing a cardigan, so it will fit her for longer than what a sweater would be. So I'm going to cake all of this up now, as soon as we're done here, and do the math, because this is the perfect reading and knitting project. Even the increases aren't that bad. So it is like a it's not raglan, but I mean, you increase, it's one piece until you do the increases, and then you split for front and back. If you have not purchased this pattern yet, it is amazing. When I wore this to DFW about a month ago, no, it was a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, oh gosh, it was well loved by everybody, and I didn't even have the collar attached at that point, but I wanted to wear it. It was perfect. So yeah, this is my love letter to the Garti Cardi. I want everybody to knit one. And the attaching it as you went was great. The one thing I might do when I do it again, although I'm liking it in the camera, is do less stitches here, and I will definitely do that on hers because I don't think one skein will be enough for all of this. Because I think when I block it, this will block out. It is 1x1 ribbing, which is what these are, and so it's looking a lot tighter right now, but of course it'll block out. So if I do it again, I may do less stitches across, but I'm not gonna give that away because it's paid for pattern and it's worth the money. It's worth the money for just how she talks about your yarn colors and choices and all that, because it is meant to be scrappy. You could definitely do it for an advent. And if you wanted to do the fading where it's not like 2 colors you're constantly switching, that math is, I mean, it's easy to me, but if you need help with the math of it and like weighing and how many grams to do for whatever, just message me. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to put those in my other By the Bay Bagco bag that I got at DFW. This is the large. It does not have the big handles like this one, but it still has the one side handle, and it's got the 2 pockets on the inside. So I love these bags. I know a long time ago people were obsessed about those Fringe Supply Co bags, and they were smaller, and I have the sock size of this too. These are just great alternatives. They do have a medium and all that. They have backpacks that are awesome. Macy of Mace of Skeins always brags about these, and that's where I started, or I bought one because of her. They're great. So I'm just rambling at this point. I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in a couple weeks.